Hello, my crafty friends, Nicole here, and if you think this background took all day, I ask you to guess again. So grab your craft supplies and I'll show you how to make this amazing watercolor background in 5 minutes. All right, so the first thing I did was stamp part of the Geometric Landscape stamp set on some craft paper. Now this is the parchment paper from Altenew. It is just regular cardstock, and believe it or not, it takes watercolor pretty well. So I'm using the Artist's watercolor pan set from Altenew, and I've got Starry Night going here. So it's a pretty dark color, but I have it watered down just a little bit. And honestly, all I'm going to do is start filling in these spaces with this watercolor. And actually, I don't even really need to pre-wet it. Pre-wetting it will actually take more time to dry. So I'm just going right into my color and making a loose outline. I'm not concerned about going into the corners exactly and getting everything covered. The key to this background really is to have some white space, or brown space as it were, in between. And you can see that there's a little bit of pooling, and that's okay. It's all going to help me figure out where I want to put some highlights in my second pass. So the key to this is getting down the color in each of these little spaces. And as it dries, I'll come back and add in more to give more depth and dimension. If I end up with a little bit too much pooling, I can dry off my brush and just sop it up a little bit, and that works out really great. So this is kind of like a messy watercolor technique. The final result, I really felt like, especially with this stamp set, kind of looked like something that you would find in a comic book or graphic novel, just the way that the color ends up being so dramatic, and you can see all the different shading lines and everything. It's not well blended, but that's the style that we're going for. So I'll finish up this first pass here, and as soon as I have that done, I'll come back and do a second pass and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so my first pass is literally just complete, and I know I said this only takes about 5 minutes, and it's true. That only took me about an additional minute to fill in. So now I'm just grabbing more of that Starry Night, and I'm going to go back and start adding in some detail in places. So I'm not putting it everywhere, just doing these little swizzly kind of moves with my brush. And if there's already a dark spot, I want to capitalize on that. So you see this dark spot here, I want to make that darker yet and kind of extend it a little bit, and let the light spots remain light, and that will help bring in the detail that I'm looking for. So you can see that the second pass takes much less time because I'm not worried about coloring in the whole panel. I'm just trying to get in some extra detail here. So I'll work my way down, trying not to miss any spots. Of course, if I do, I can always come back and fix that later, right? All right, so this is my second pass, basically complete at this point. So you can see that it dries pretty quick, and with this particular craft paper, and I notice this of most craft papers, you don't have any balling up of the or pilling of the cardstock, which is really a nice feature. Okay, so that's my second pass. It's still wet, yes, I know that. So I'm going to grab again some more Starry Night, but this time I'm going to add in a little bit from Rock Collection, which is black, and just put that in there to make kind of more a midnight blue. And this is my final pass. Again, just a little smaller amount of detail, and maybe even just some dabbing instead of swizzling, if you will. And this is going to just add in a hair more detail and dimension because it's more of a subdued blue it's going to look kind of more like a shadow. So I'll pop all of this in. And you can see, I mean, we've only been together for a few minutes here, and I have basically a finished panel. All right, so I'm going to go dry this with my heat tool, and then I'll be right back to show you the finished product. All right, so here is the completed panel, and as you can see, it has a really, really cool look to it. Kind of dimensional, kind of hand-drawn and sketchy, and when I couple it with a sentiment and a really soft flower, it makes for a beautiful card to pop in the mail to someone. I hope you enjoyed this quick watercolor technique and that it inspires you to get out your watercolors and craft cardstock to create something similar. If you post your inspired creation out on social media, please don't forget to tag me at Pixel Maven's Retreat so that I can enjoy all of your beautiful creations too. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and until next time, happy crafting.